Hello, welcome to today's yoga teaching. In this session, we are focusing on the true meaning and intention of the science of yoga. In the modern world, yoga has become really a cult of the physical, all about stretching, flexibility, and strength. But there's so much more to the science. So let's go into it and figure out what it's all about. Now, yoga is not a religion. Some people associate yoga with Hinduism. These are two different branches. They both grew up in India and they have cross-pollinated each other and they have influenced each other tremendously. But originally, yoga was not a form of Hinduism, and Hinduism is not a form of yoga. We need to understand this because some people have this feeling that I can't do yoga if I'm a Christian or a Hindu or a Muslim or a Jew or whatever religion that is not Hinduism. Well, that's a great misunderstanding. Yoga actually embraces all paths and helps you to go deeper into your own spiritual path, whatever it is. It doesn't matter what belief system that you have brought into your life or has been taught to you by your parents. This can help you to get a greater understanding of that belief system by getting a greater understanding of yourself. Now, yoga is not a practice, it's a way of life. It's a holistic life path, which incorporates everything: diet, the things that we do with our body, our energy, our emotions, our mind, and even our spiritual path. It encompasses everything in the human experience. And the real teaching of yoga is that we are divine, that the God or goddess, creator, super consciousness, the universal field of consciousness, whatever words that you like to use. And remember, words are really limitations. They are concepts. And the concept is not the thing itself. The concept is actually what we're trying to transcend through yoga, because the word gets in the way. The yoga helps us to transcend that conceptual thinking and experience directly our own divinity, our true essence that's within us. Now, we are considered through yoga and through experience to be divine beings having a human experience. And this is the beauty, that anything that you need to find, you find by looking within yourself. They say that life is the journey from existence back to essence. And until we learn that, we keep coming back into body to figure out who we are and learn this lesson. And this is the great path of yoga. When your mind is still, you start to experience your divinity, your true power. You are not your body, your emotions, or your senses. You have these things and they are experienced by you, but you are divinity that's manifesting in a body to experience this life. And everything that you see around you is actually you looking back at you, teaching you who you are. That's what's happening when you start to go into a deep state of silence. These truths become self-evident. And it's not a rational, analytical thinking. It's not coming from reading text or studying scripture. It's about going into stillness. Yoga is the path of finding that stillness within yourself so that you can come into the guidance of the heart that is beyond the mind. You think you are limited because you identify with your body, but you are not the body. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. How are you not understanding this? Because of the mind. It's the mind that gets in the way. The ego and the mind cover your divinity. They cover your true essence. And with the techniques of yoga, and now I'm referring specifically to Tantra Yoga, you can find the way back into your source. The mind is not the enemy. Okay, the mind can be your greatest tool. Once you learn to harness the power of your mind, you can use it to learn about yourself. But then it's like a ladder. You use the mind to take you to the highest understanding of the mind, and then you step beyond the mind through these practices, and you leave the ladder beside. You don't need it anymore. The mind is your greatest tool, or it can be your greatest enemy, as you know. The chaos and the problems are not happening outside of you. They're happening by what you're thinking about what's happening outside of you. That's the thing that's causing the problem. So let it be your greatest servant, not your master. And through this process of looking within, we can literally reach a state of enlightenment. What does that mean? It's another concept. All it means is that you are experiencing your connection to universal consciousness in this present moment. And the present moment is the gateway to enlightenment. It's the gateway to your highest power, because anything that happened in the past or the future now is just a projection of your mind. And it's actually a game of the mental monkey. The mind is so chaotic, they call it the drunk monkey stung by a scorpion, all over the place. So it doesn't let you experience this present moment. Maybe we've heard of Eckhart Tolle, the great teacher, the power of now. All of the masters throughout the ages, from all the different traditions, not even just yoga, talk about now is the only time that we can step into reality. How do we get there? We can do it with our physical practice. We can do it with breathing. We can do it with meditation, visualization, concentration. And all of these are different techniques that are part of the tantric science. So yoga is like removing the dust from the lens. And once you remove that dust, your light shines forth clearly and you see who you are. It's actually really easy in a sense to realize your inner divinity, but most people don't truly want it. Why? Because they're attached to the physical. They're attached to the sensual. There's nothing wrong with the physical and the sensual. We are two things at the same time. We are in the body experiencing the senses, yet we are also the observer, the awareness in which all of this is happening. Your consciousness is infinite. If you can experience the stars, the sun, the moon, the rivers, the mountains, other people, you're experiencing them within your consciousness. They all exist within you. But because we are attached to this focal point, we think that we are somehow separate from all of that. All that you are perceiving is already within you. That's the great teaching of yoga, is how to find that connection. Because as the mind thinks in a dualistic state, it's me or him, me or her. It's high versus low. And that duality is what's keeping us from experiencing the essence of who we are. And there's nothing wrong with duality. It's a great teacher. We are here to learn these lessons through our experience of life. But we can also learn that we are the creator of our reality. And there is no separation between what you see and the seeing and the being who's doing the seeing itself. When you really want this, the universe will reveal it to you. It's a matter of doing some things to help purify. And the science of yoga is the science of purification of the body, energy, emotions, and mind. If you can purify these things and they come into a state of balance, then the answers come to you naturally, effortlessly at that moment when you come to balance. Now, there is work to get to that level of balance. Don't misunderstand and think that this is easy. But once you go through the purification process, then these things start to flow into your life easily. So there is the work that has to be done. And how do we do it? It's by getting out of the illusion that the mind and the body are you and understanding that you are divine. And we do this through the Tantra Yoga system. And it's a process of creating resonance. Resonance means that something is vibrating and there's something else receiving that vibration. And we put ourselves into resonance with the ultimate vibration, the vibration of divinity. And it's done through all these practices that we talk about: physical postures, breathing, concentration techniques, and meditation. These are the main practices of Tantra Yoga that help to reveal the divinity to ourselves. And we do this by working with the chakra system. There are 7 chakras in the being. They relate to all of the different energies in the universe, and they help us to balance. Once we open the chakras, first we have to purify them, then we send more energy into them, then they open up, and they open up different levels of consciousness, they open up our psyche, and they purify our karma through the practices. So yoga is a holistic science. If we're only touching the physical, we'll never transcend the limitations of the body. And we'll never get past the mind if our yoga practice is only about stretching and strengthening. Now, we need that strong, healthy body, because if that is in pain or disease, we can't focus on anything else. So this is what's become our ultimate goal in modern yoga somehow. We've lost the essential teachings of finding our divinity through this practice. Once we get to that place of purification, we start to look inside deeper and deeper. We answer the 4 biggest questions that humanity has faced. Who am I? Why am I here? Where am I going? And what is the meaning of my life? These are the greatest questions that all the philosophers throughout time have tried to understand. And many of the philosophers have just tried to use their mind to get there, especially in the West. Descartes said, "I think, therefore I am." The yogis say that is inaccurate, actually. The thoughts are the prevention from understanding who you are. Now, I'm not saying Descartes was not an intellectual understanding. He had great thought process, but he missed the point, and so do many of the Western philosophers, that we are something greater than the mind. Now, if you would like to find the answers to your own questions, you can't ask somebody else to give them to you. Everybody has a unique path. We're all on a unique journey to figure out, what is this all about for me? Because you are different than me in the sense that you are in a different body experiencing your reality. Your mind is manifesting this lesson of life for your specific journey. But the beauty is we're all sharing a fundamental consciousness that's expressed in an infinite variety of forms. That's why there is a sense of union in diversity. So yes, you have a different body than I do, but we share the same fundamental consciousness. It's God or the universe experiencing God or the universe itself through these different vehicles. And that's why we start to look inside to find that connection. What does yoga mean? It means union. It means union not only of the body, energy, emotions, and mind, it means union between your consciousness and the universal consciousness. I think you understand what I'm saying by now. There is a deeper level of yoga that's accessible to all of us. Find a teacher, find the good books that teach you how to do something more than just stretch the body, and you can go into a greater state of awareness of your mission in this life, because we're all here to fulfill a certain role. Think of it as the universal painting, and each one of us is one brushstroke within that painting, and we all have an important part to create that masterpiece. And unless we understand the answers to these questions, we don't know the real direction of our life. And this is why many people feel depressed, because they don't know why they're here. What does it mean? That's because they're trying to get the answer outside of themselves. So go inside through the science, purify, calm the mind, and let the answers from the heart guide you into a state of unconditional love. That's the highest vibration, and that's what yoga is really bringing us back to. The creator is love, and all of these things that we think are difficult in our lives are actually lessons to help us learn more about who we are, to learn to love ourselves first, because sometimes that's the hardest. And once we learn to understand and accept our path of the unique individual with all of the challenges, all that suffering is a form of helping us to learn more about who we are and come back to that state of unconditional love. So I wish you all the best on this journey. There's lots of great teachers out there these days that you can access, but it's really about listening to those teachings, because remember, it's not about reading scriptures and listening to other teachers that's going to help you answer your own question. You have to go within inside. And that's the teaching of yoga that gives you the techniques of how to get in there and answer these questions for yourself. All the best on your journey.